Artists, today we are going to make a simple optical illusion. The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to trace some circles, and the key to a really good optical illusion is to have perfectly geometric shapes. So when you trace these circles, you want to aim for your best to get them as perfect as possible. I know sometimes that's hard to aim for, but that's going to really help our optical illusions look realistic. And I want you to do an odd number of circles. So 3 or 5. I don't want you to do more than 5. 3 is a really good number, and you can put them anywhere on your paper, and they can be any size. When you trace, the easiest thing to do is hold it with one hand while you trace around it with that pencil. And remember, you're aiming for your best to get as perfectly circular as you can. So I'm going to get my other 2 on there. So I went with 3 circles. And your next step is to take a ruler. Remember, optical illusions, the more geometric and perfect you can get, the better. What we're going to do is we're going to put a grid right over top of our paper, but we are not going to intersect the circles. So I'm going to aim for my best. I'm going to line my ruler right up to the edge, as straight as I can, and I'm going to start drawing some vertical lines. When I get to my circle, so I'm aiming for my best to line those up. When I get to my circles, I'm going to stop and then start where those circles end. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way across my paper. I'm aiming for my best to line up as perfectly as I can. I'm stopping when I get to my circles, picking up my pencil so that I am not intersecting those circles. Now that I've got my vertical lines, I'm going to do the same thing horizontally. One thing that I think is easy to do is to flip my paper so that they're vertical again. It just makes it easier in my opinion. So once again, I'm lining the ruler up. I'm doing the best that I can to make it as straight as possible. And when I get to those circles, once again, I'm going to stop, pick my pencil up, and start again. So we are not intersecting those circles. And I'm noticing at the edge right here, my ruler didn't go all the way through and my lines ended up curving. We don't want that to happen if we're going to have this be a optical illusion. So I'm going to make sure that they go straight down to the end. I'm going to continue that all the way across my paper. Now that I've got the grid on my background, I need to pick 2 colors. And I would recommend that you do a light and a dark color. That's going to give you your best optical illusion. So I've picked purple and yellow. Purple and yellow are actually complementary colors. That's also going to help me have a really good optical illusion. And what I want to do is I want to create a checkerboard pattern. And I want to protect the table that I've got here, so I'm going to get some scrap paper to put under it. One really important tip is to make sure that you have really good markers. You don't want to use any markers that are dead or drying out. If there's a special color that you've got and it's drying out, make sure you replace it with one that works. So if you're using a yellow washable marker and the yellow starts dying out, make sure you get a new one. If you have dead or dried out markers, your optical illusion won't look as good. So what you're going to do is just do a checkerboard pattern. So you're going to alternate your colors. And you're going to aim for your best to stay right inside of those cubes that you've done. And you are going to alternate your colors. Dark to light, dark to light. And you're going to do it in a checkerboard pattern. So I'll give you a tip as soon as I'm done. So I'm going to alternate all the way across from yellow to purple. What you want to do is make sure that you're really taking your time. If you're scribbling, then these are not going to turn out as well as if you slow down and take your time. You'll notice that I was really paying attention to the directions that I was coloring in. I'm not scribbling, I'm not all over the place. I'm really slowing down, making sure that my colors are just going in the cubes that I want them to, making sure that I'm not scribbling and I'm filling them up completely. I find it easiest to work one row at a time. And what I like to do is I like to just alternate one color at a time so that I know that I'm keeping my pattern correctly. So what I do is if I've got yellow on top, I know that this one's got to be purple. This one's going to be yellow, so I'm going to skip over. If this one's purple, that one's got to be yellow. This one's going to be purple, purple, purple. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill those purples out now so that I know I've got the right pattern going. Once you've got your first color down in your second row, you're going to go back in with your second color, and if you've done it correctly, you should have a checkerboard pattern. I'm going to continue all the way down my paper so that my whole background is filled with a checkerboard of purple and yellow.